Psych Clarity is an online platform dedicated to increasing awareness about mental health by breaking down psychological concepts into content that feels approachable and relatable. If you find value in conversations like this, consider sharing them with someone who might benefit. If being in a crowded space exhausts you faster than your phone running out of battery, you're not imagining it. There's real psychology behind that reaction, and it's more layered than most people assume. Imagine this scenario. It's Saturday evening. A message pops up on your phone. We're downtown. It's packed, but it's amazing. Come join us. And instead of excitement, you feel your energy drop. It's not that you dislike your friends. It's not that you don't enjoy fun. You just feel tired before you've even left your house. So what's happening? First, your sensory system might process more information than average. Around 15 to 20% of people are thought to have heightened sensory processing sensitivity. This trait means that while many brains automatically tune out background noise, flashing lights, overlapping conversations, and subtle environmental shifts, some nervous systems absorb much more of it all at once. It's not a flaw. It's a different configuration. Think of it like this. If most people's brains are operating in standard definition, yours might be streaming in ultra-high resolution. More detail means more data. More data requires more energy to interpret and organize. Research by psychologist Elaine Aron suggests that highly sensitive individuals tend to process physical, emotional, and social cues more deeply. You might notice the flicker of fluorescent lights, a subtle change in someone's voice, a brief facial expression, and a slight shift in group tension, all at once. From an evolutionary perspective, that heightened awareness had advantages. In earlier environments, being the one who noticed subtle threats or social cues could be protective. The challenge is that modern social spaces, loud music, bright lighting, dense crowds, aren't built for nervous systems that absorb everything. What feels overwhelming isn't weakness. It's cognitive overload from excessive input. Second, sometimes it's not the crowd itself. It's the social navigation required within it. For many people, the number of bodies in a room isn't the draining part. It's the mental effort of managing social signals. If you're especially attuned to body language, tone shifts, and emotional undertones, social interaction becomes multi-layered. You're not only listening to words, you're also tracking inconsistencies, unspoken tensions, and subtle emotional cues. Research indicates that individuals who prefer smaller gatherings often score higher in emotional perception. That doesn't make them superior. It simply means certain environments demand more mental processing. You may prefer depth over breadth. One meaningful conversation late at night might feel far more satisfying than hours of surface-level chatter. Neither preference is right or wrong. The problem arises when society equates frequent socializing with strong social skills. We tend to reward visibility and volume, while overlooking quiet connection and depth. Third, your brain may respond to stimulation differently. Brain chemistry discussions are often oversimplified, but studies suggest that extroverts generally experience stronger dopamine responses from novelty and social engagement. Introverted individuals may rely more on systems connected to internal reflection and focused attention. This isn't a binary, it's a continuum. In practical terms, this means your brain might recharge through solitary activities, reading, walking in nature, creating something quietly, or diving deeply into a project. Parties might not replenish you in the same way. That doesn't mean something is broken. It means your energy sources differ. Some research explores structural brain variations, such as differences in gray matter volume. But these findings are complex and frequently overstated online. No personality style is inherently superior. Each is simply better suited to certain environments. The larger issue is cultural. Many societies treat extroversion as the default and introversion as something to work on. That framing can create unnecessary shame around natural preferences. If you leave a social event craving silence more than sleep, that's not antisocial. It may simply reflect how your nervous system restores itself. Fourth, emotional absorption plays a role. Some individuals are highly responsive to other people's emotional states. You might hear this described as empathy or heightened mirror neuron activity. though the scientific terminology can vary. If you walk into a room and immediately sense tension no one is verbalized, or if you leave an interaction feeling drained because someone else was anxious, even if they try to hide it, you may be unconsciously processing emotional cues at a deep level. In crowded environments, that means you're not only managing your own reactions, you're also absorbing fragments of everyone else's. That cumulative processing is exhausting. The upside is strong empathy, attentive listening, and emotional insight. The downside is faster overwhelm if you don't have space to reset. Wanting quiet afterward isn't avoidance, it's regulation. Fifth, it's important to acknowledge that sometimes discomfort in crowds isn't just personality. It can be linked to conditions like social anxiety, panic disorder, trauma responses, or agoraphobia. These are not personality flaws. They are legitimate mental health experiences that can be addressed with support. If crowded spaces cause panic, intense dread, or physical symptoms that interfere with your life, speaking with a mental health professional can be helpful. There's a meaningful difference between saying, "I prefer intimate gatherings," and "I'm afraid to leave my house." Both experiences deserve compassion, but they require different approaches. So what does all this mean for you? Understanding yourself isn't about labeling yourself as deficient or exceptional. It's about making choices that align with how you function best. A few grounding reminders. Small social circles can hold just as much meaning as large networks. Needing recovery time after social events is self-care, not rudeness. Declining an invitation doesn't require a detailed justification, and preferences can evolve over time. Instead of asking, "What's wrong with me?" try asking, "What helps me thrive?" Sometimes thriving means skipping the crowded party. Sometimes it means attending briefly and leaving when your energy dips. Sometimes it means seeking out people who also appreciate calm spaces and deeper dialogue. If crowds drain you, that experience is valid. Whether it stems from sensory sensitivity, introversion, emotional attunement, anxiety, or simple personal preference, it's real. People who feel energized by crowds aren't better than you, and you're not better than them. We're all searching for environments where we can function at our best. The goal isn't to force yourself into spaces that deplete you, nor to isolate yourself from meaningful connection. It's to recognize your patterns and build a life that fits your nervous system. So, are you someone who thrives in buzzing social scenes, or do you feel most alive in quiet spaces with a good book? Where do you fall on the spectrum, energized or drained by crowds? Let us know your experience. And as always, thank you for watching.